Bahrain offers a lot of opportunities purely because you've got a lot of businesses or global companies in Bahrain. And obviously the local market is also quite attractive for photographers. I'm George Mathew. I've been in Bahrain since 2001. My background is nothing to do with what I do now. My education, basically. I've done economics and switched to my passion after coming down to Bahrain. I did want to learn photography, but like every parent, they wanted me to do a degree. At that time, there was no degree on photography. So I did the degree, did what my parents wanted, and then moved to my passion. My journey with photography started quite at an early age. My dad was a photo enthusiast, and he always had a camera. We always had a camera at home, though I wasn't allowed to touch those days much because it was not a digital camera, it was a film camera. But yeah, I had to. I still remember my first picture, which I captured, which was a totally blurred one, like totally out of focus one. So yeah, it was a struggle to get it back from my dad. But yeah, it was, to answer your question, it was there at home. It was always there since I was a child. Source of passion or inspiration, I should say. It's quite important to stay inspired. It's people around us as in creative people. So my source of inspiration is more of people around me, as in creatives around me. I used to read a lot of magazines related to photography. This I'm talking about pre-YouTube or pre-social era. Nowadays, it's a bit more easier to find inspiration because you've got different platforms where you can follow people from around the world and see what they do and stay inspired. The three favorite photographic spots or places that I like to photograph is, one is the studio here, because I've created quite a lot of advertising campaigns here. So this is really close to my heart. And the secondly is the Bahrain Fort, the beach, the farm around it. That's another favorite spot for me, and also the Bahrain's the Manama Souk, which is very colorful, vibrant, and yeah, you find a lot of stuff to capture there. Every time you go, it's something new. The photography scene in Bahrain is very vibrant, I should say. Though we are a small country, I've seen people, a lot of wildlife photographers. I was quite stunned to see them. I mean, they're beautiful pictures that's been captured around Bahrain. Street is really, really vibrant as well. Motorsport is another interesting part. So yeah, there's a lot of, all these bring in a lot of opportunities as well. So I would say Bahrain is really vibrant, and in terms of photography, and also the people are quite welcoming. When you're out and around taking pictures on the street, it's very rarely you find people objecting to you. They're all very, very supportive of what you're doing. I've come across people who have guided me and showing me more interesting spots in, let's say in the souk or anywhere else, that come, I'll show you, this is a better place. You probably don't know it, as an expat, maybe I wouldn't know it. So that way Bahrain has been very friendly, and people are very friendly, and photography is, you can see, it's thriving. There are a lot of photographers, lot of beautiful work being produced in Bahrain. Bahrain is quite unique in a way that, you've got a lot of leading global companies. based out of here. Um, and it gives you an opportunity not just to showcase your talent in Bahrain, also to be showcased outside. To give you an example, I was assigned by McLaren Automotive purely because they have a base or regional headquarters in Bahrain. They look for a photographer here, and I got the opportunity of traveling with them when they had a car launch. Though it was out of Bahrain, the launch, I was taken there to take pictures of an international car brand. Not just McLaren, there are other brands as well that we associate with on a commercial level. So Bahrain offers a lot of opportunities purely because you've got a lot of businesses or global companies in Bahrain, and obviously the local market is also quite attractive for photographers. You have the odd phase where you have images that comes out for campaigns, and then it switches to non-images. But then that's always there in every market. Apart from that, which is, I would say, it's a little bit of challenge there. But apart from that, you've got enough in Bahrain to sustain yourself as a photographer. Preparing for a shoot day is a very interesting process, to be honest. It's all in the head. So obviously, for my kind of work, I've been briefed by the client or the agency that I work with on what needs to be done. And it's not a one-day process. So we have pre-production meetings where things have been discussed in detail, and we have everything planned out. So, the location, we know if there are any models in it, who are the models, what sort of light pattern are we going for, what are we trying to achieve there. All these things have been discussed much before. And I don't leave things to last minute. So my bags will usually be packed the day before. So I make sure everything is planned out well in advance. But like every job, you have changes at the last minute, and it's more about adapting to that. Whatever planning we do, we've planned for a beautiful, day, bright sunlight image, and while we were about to shoot, we had drizzles. So anything can happen. It's just about being how prepared. I mean, how much prepared you can be, and the rest is you just work with your experience and people around you. The most memorable photo shoot in Bahrain was I was asked to photograph the 2 Formula One drivers. That was really, and that was the team that I support. So it was much nicer. That's one of them, and there are plenty of them. I try to find joy in every shoot to keep me motivated as well, in a way. So it could be a shoot that I did. That was going for the first time on my billboard. It was exciting for me. When I got my first magazine cover, when my image was published in an international photography magazine. So there are different things. All these images were created in Bahrain. So there are many things that I just can't pick on one or mention one. But the first one I mentioned was because it was recent, and it's still fresh in my memory. So that was probably the latest one. Photography journey. Okay, so there's a lot of people. Honestly, a lot of people. But obviously, family is always very close. I know I mentioned that my parents didn't want me to take up photography at the first place, but they knew that I would do that, but parents are always parents. They always prefer good for their kids. Um, Parents are families always the biggest supporters, and then a lot of photographers along the way I've met who've guided me, who've fine tuned me um, to become what I am today. I mean, most of the leading photographers in Bahrain, when I started, there were very few, a handful. Each one of them has helped me in some way or the other, guiding me on, could be little tips, but everything has helped me shape to what I am, what I am now. Yeah. So yeah. Competitions in Bahrain, to be honest, I've started taking photography very seriously because of a competition that happened in Bahrain. It was for the Bahrain Garden Club, and I was lucky enough to win it 3 times. And and that's when I started taking it up seriously. That was in Bahrain. The main ones that I can remember is the Garden Club photo contest. The second one I can say is a magazine from used to be in Dubai called Photography Middle East. I was a category winner there. Things have changed now. I don't participate much. I think I should, but I just don't find the time for it. But there is a global food photo award, which is called the Pink Lady Food Photography Award from London. 2021, I was one of the judge for the GCC region. That's something, yeah. My favorite published work, I would say there are a couple of books that I've worked with. One is with the Ministry of Culture, the Food is Culture event. They put together a book for that, and I was assigned to do pictures for that. Another recent one that I worked on is for the National Day stamp. The last year's 2023 stamp for National Day, I was assigned by Baka to photograph the pearls, the most precious pearls of Bahrain, for the stamp. So that's a recent one. And 2 years I was working in a publication house, and I got an opportunity to photograph from cars to fashion to products and everything. And most of the covers were created in-house. So basically it was us as a team. I was the photographer to do that. So these are all published work in Bahrain. But there are many others. Like I mentioned, the photography magazine that I had submitted work to, and it was published in that. Upcoming projects, to be honest, there are few work in progress, but I don't think I can reveal any of them yet. But most of the projects that I work with, are campaigns. So it's difficult to reveal everything at the moment. But there are some interesting work lined up. I am getting more and more, I should say I'm going backwards now. I've started doing more pictures with film. That's something that I like to go back. And so I'm working on that. I've, during my days in Awali Photography Society, I had learned the processing of film and stuff like that, which I am revisiting now. That's something that I would like to like to continue doing. Advice for youngsters, I would say it is challenging to put on the number of years that, like, most of us have put in. But if you stick on to what you like to do, there will be rewards. It's more of finding that passion in every project that you work on. This is an advice given to me, and I would be happy to share that with others. I'm sure you've heard that many times, but yeah, find passion in every little project. Might not be the most exciting one, but when you do things commercially, and when we are in a small market, every work, every job is has to be considered as a gift, and to execute that at the best of your ability is very key, because you'll be judged by the last work you've done. So find motivation in every project, any project it might be. If you've taken up the project, you have to give your 100%, stay motivated and complete it. Yeah, I don't think I've grown up enough in to make such a statement for the world. That's a bit too big, but yeah, it's interesting, like how the world is changing with the technology. And yeah, I mean, we need to always embrace technology, obviously, but it becomes more and more challenging for every one of us to push through every day. But like I earlier said, I think you have to find something to stay motivated. This is something that I've thought about even before, So when I had to name my website, there were a lot of names that came through, and I wanted to call my website Exposure Bracketing. In photography terms, you might understand what it is. It's about fine-tuning things. Yeah. So you got the exposure, and the exposure bracketing is used to, everything is in auto mode, and the bracketing is basically fine-tuning the auto mode. But unfortunately, someone had taken the domain name, so I went to another one currently, which is Grey Image now, which I still love the name. But yeah, I think exposure bracketing, basically you need to fine-tune, right, at every point of life. Yeah. So to answer your question, if my life is an episode, I would call it exposure bracketing.